Every year, millions of people get injured using a kitchen knife. And if you want to be part of that statistic, well, have I got a video for you. Because I've collected the top 10 ways people injure themselves with kitchen knives and what you can do to get them all. The first thing to do if you want to end in hospital is to use the wrong knife grip. Using an incorrect knife grip like the classic fist grip or the trusty old finger over the back of the knife grip will make sure that your knife can twist in your hand. And for extra danger points, why not cover your hands in something nice and slippery like soap or oil, just to really make sure that knife can slip right out of your hand. But if you're a little snowflake and you actually care about safety, this is the grip you should probably use. Pinch the back of the knife between your thumb and your index finger and make sure the tip of your fingers aren't anywhere close to the blade. This will make sure the blade is safe and that it can't rotate in your hand. And then grip the handle using the rest of your fingers, which should give you a grip that feels safe, powerful, and controlled. Almost as if the knife was like an extension of your body. The next way to speedrun an injury is to use the wrong grip on your other hand. The quickest and easiest way is to keep your hand as close as possible to the knife. And make sure that hand is lying nice and flat on the board, so that all your fingers are as exposed as possible to the. But if you're some annoying health and safety freak, you probably use the claw grip, which is as safe as it gets for two very good reasons. It makes you curl your fingers and your thumb in so that the tip of your fingers, which are the most exposed part, are safely tucked away from the path of the knife. And by controlling how you move your knuckle back, you control the speed of the chopping. Just make sure that you don't lift the knife above your knuckle, because otherwise. The next thing to ensure injury is to use a dull knife. This is because when you're cutting, a dull knife is more likely to lose its grip and slip up out of your control. And with a dull knife, you have to use a lot more strength to cut through things. So when the knife eventually slips and you lose control of it, it now has all that extra power it can use to cut right through your fingers. And if you want to keep your knives dull and dangerous, avoid these two tools at all costs. When you use a knife normally, the fibers at the edge of the blade will get slightly deformed. This is when you use a honing knife and you pass it over the edge of your blade a few times, because it'll take those misaligned fibers, realign them so that your knife stays sharper and safer for longer. But if your knife is already dull, that means it's lost its edge and the tip of the knife is actually flat. This is when you want to use a knife sharpener, because it actually grinds away the metal on each side of the blade until you recreate a new sharp edge, which makes your knife safe again. Another top 10 way to lose a finger is instability. That's right, there is no better way to slip up and completely lose control of your knife than trying to cut something unstable. And bonus danger points if the surface you're cutting it on is also moving around. So to make sure you complete your injury bingo card, make sure to ignore all the following advice. The purpose of the first cut is to create a flat surface on which you can rest the thing so that you can cut it safely. And as you cut, you might find that it starts feeling wobbly again. So all you do is just take it, flip it on its most stable surface so that you can continue cutting safely. But that won't help if the surface you're cutting it on is also moving all over the place. A quick hack for this is to use a damp towel or a damp cloth and put it under your cutting board, which just cements it in place so that it's nice and stable and that you can cut on it safely. But let's say you're not even using your knife. Well, don't you worry, because with this next tip, you can still get that sweet, sweet injury. And that's by leaving your knives lying around and storing them incorrectly. So make sure to leave your knives in places like a soapy sink or in a drawer with all your other kitchen utensils. This is a surefire way of injuring yourself as your hands rummage around where your eyes can't see. To make sure you end up in an ambulance, ignore the next 20 seconds and use that time to subscribe to my channel. But if you're still listening, the fun police say that as soon as you finish with a knife, you have to clean it and store it so that your work surfaces are clear from anything sharp and they're safe for everyone to use. And when you're storing your knife, make sure the blade is covered using either a knife guard or by putting the knife in a knife block so that nobody can accidentally touch it. For the next one, I have a little quiz for you. So let's say it's a lovely day and you have your windows open, but suddenly a big gust of wind comes into your kitchen and pushes your knife off the table. What do you do? Is it A, catch the knife with your hand. Or B, catch the knife with your feet. That's right, it was actually option C, because if you want to have the same hands and feet as a crucified prisoner, the right answer was all of the above. No, but like seriously, if there's one thing you learn from this video is that a falling knife has no handle. I mean, I thought it was pretty obvious that trying to catch a falling knife was a terrible, terrible idea, but it is one of the top 10 reasons people get injured with a kitchen knife. So please be safe and stop trying to catch your kitchen knives. I mean, it's not some kind of Formula 1 reaction time test rig. Here is another top 10 way to injure yourself, and that is by cutting towards yourself or towards anyone else. Let's say you're cutting this carrot like a completely normal person. Where do you think the knife is gonna go if it slips and you lose control? Bingo. And I'm not gonna lie, I've actually done this while opening an Amazon package. Now, if you're trying to replicate my injury, this next bit is not for you. The safe way to cut something is to point the blade away from yourself or anyone else, so that if you do lose control of the knife, nobody is in the way and everyone is safe. And for the love of God, please stop cutting things that you're holding in your hand or cutting using this weird reverse grip. You will win a Darwin Award, and that is not a good thing. What could be more important than focusing on not injuring yourself? That's right, literally anything. So if you're trying to get that emergency services loyalty card, make sure you're as distracted as possible when you're cutting. And if you're really serious about danger, why even bother looking at what you're cutting at all? But if you're a party pooper and you're trying to be safe, just focus on the cutting. I mean, you can only really focus on one thing at a time. So before you start cutting, turn off that TV, finish that stressful call, and take off that blindfold. When I show you this, what do you see? If you just see a simple knife, where is your creativity? Because if you want to speed through your supply of plasters and bandages, you would see this as a multi-tool. One with which you can slip and injure yourself while trying to pry open a jar. Or why not use the butt of the knife as a hammer? I mean, there are so many inventive ways of injuring yourself that just haven't been discovered yet. But if you don't feel like being a pioneer of pain, just be safe and use the knife for the one thing it was actually designed to do. I know, right? Now, for the most surefire way to injure yourself with a kitchen knife, you should never practice. Because practice is for pussy. Yes, I know that like starting slow and slowly building up speed and consistency is the only way you'll feel comfortable and in control so that you don't hurt yourself or anyone else around you. But yeah, I don't want to do it. So that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and make sure to check out all my other videos where I learn and test out tons of fun stuff. See you in the next one. Ciao!